Hi there, and welcome back to The Little Things. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've heard from a lot of you that you didn't realize my hair was naturally curly. Well, it is. So today I'm going to show you how to use a diffuser. I love to teach my guests how to use a diffuser because a lot of people don't even know how. And so I thought, what better way I could show you guys too what I do to my hair and what works, and then what I teach to other guests as well. Especially with today's natural textures coming back in style, I love it. And I don't know about you, but Southern California has been very humid lately. Not used to that. So I've been wearing my hair curly a lot. So let's just talk about a few things before we get started. Like, what do you use on your hair to prep it? You guys probably know that I love Euphoria products. And Euphoria actually has a promise, which they call, it's like groups of products for your hair type. And they have a line called Curlin. And I love this. It's a shampoo and a conditioner for curly hair. Now, I would recommend this, and I'll make sure that if you want to get your hands on some of this, that the link will be in my show notes. And if you go to that link, you can go directly to their page, and I get a little bit of credit for that as well. But you can read all about the product, what the ingredients are, things like that. I love this for curly hair. But if you don't want to use the Euphoria products, there's a lot of shampoos out there for curly hair. Just make sure they're hydrating, because you know with curly hair, frizz is a problem. And what causes that frizz is the cuticle being wide open, but also it's being dry because the cuticle's open. So you want enough moisture in your hair to combat that frizziness, if you know what I mean. One product I cannot live without is the Curlin Perfect Curl Activator. This is a spray that I spray on my hair before I put any products in my hair. This actually has, the active ingredient in this is a tomato fruit extract. In layman terms, what that does for curly hair, if you have a lazy curl pattern, it'll actually tighten up the curl pattern for you. So those guests that you have that maybe half their hair doesn't have curl to it, or they have a spot that's kind of lazy curls, you can spray this on and it works. I don't have lazy curls at all, so I tend to spray it all over. Just spray it all over, and don't be stingy with it. You want it all over your hair. I don't have a mirror in front of me, so I'm just kind of winging this, like can't see what I'm doing. And excuse my hair, I need a touch up. So if you see little baby grays sticking out in there, this is reality, people. Another thing about this is it is a deodorizer, meaning it will take the smells out of your hair. So if you go to like a campfire or a club and there's smoking, there's not a lot of smoking a lot of places anymore, but maybe you work in a kitchen and you have that French fry smell in your hair. You spray this on and it'll actually take the odors out of your hair. So you can go 2 or 3 days. Extension people, this would be great because, you know, I know with extensions, you tend to not shampoo your hair that often. It's just a great thing to know. But I love it for the curl activation. And then another thing that you have to consider is then what styling products do you use on your hair? Again, you have to use a styling product that has enough moisture in it, that defines the curl pattern. A lot of people ask me, what's the difference between gels and foams? Foams will give you volume. And in fact, again, Euphoria has this wonderful defining solution, and it is a foam. It comes out like this. So it doesn't have alcohol in it. It's very non-drying. You stick it in your hands, and then you squeeze it into your hair. I'm gonna do one half of my side of my hair with the foam, and the other side of my hair with this other combination I like to use, just to show you the difference. And you want to make sure, what I see the most problem is that people don't use enough product. Just make sure you get enough product on your hair and really squeeze it in the ends. And you're just squeezing the hair. And you don't want to really comb this through. You're just squeezing it through, because if you combed this through, you're going to disrupt those curls that you just squeezed in there. Make sense? All right. Now this will give you, this will dry, you'll have a defined curl pattern, but it will dry, I don't want to say crunchy because it's not crunchy like the old 80s mousses used to be, but you will want to rake it out just a little bit, and I'll show you that as well. My very favorite combination, my hair is curlier than I want it to be, so I tend to go towards a cocktail. I love this forming cream by Euphoria. The reason why I love it, it still defines my curl pattern, but it gives it a little bit of weight to the hair. So it actually elongates the curl pattern just a little bit. Whereas the foam will make it bouncier and a little bit tighter. Just depends on what you want your hair to do. So this comes out, you could tell it's thicker. I use about that much, nickel size. And then I love to combine it with Pure Polish. Pure Polish is one of my very favorite secret weapon products. It's a shine product, but it also helps your hair dry 50% faster than without. If you combine this with any other product, like I'm adding about a pea size amount, what it does is some kind of scientific thing in there. It forces the water out of your hair, so you can combine this with your glazes, with your mousses. You can put this on first and then put a product on top of it, and it'll just help your blow dry go a lot faster. Plus it'll give you very, very shiny hair. I like to cocktail it with the forming cream, and I just mix it up in my hand. Make sure I get it all throughout my little fingers. And then I squeeze it in over here. Make sure you get those little hairs around your face so you don't have fuzz around your face. I don't know if you can, I can't see myself because again, I don't have a mirror. So I'm just kind of going with it. Hopefully this makes sense. And don't forget the top of your head. And I'm just squeezing it through. Okay. All right, so you can probably tell just by how my hair's shaping up that my curl is getting activated, right? So let's talk about diffusers. A lot of blow dryers come with some kind of diffuser attachment. And a lot of people are like, oh, what was, I threw mine away because I didn't know what it was. Don't throw it away. But if you did, you can go out and you can just buy a universal diffuser. This one is actually by Revlon. I don't know how much it costs. I probably got it at Target or something. I'll find the link and put it in the show note. But here's what's important. Basic diffuser. As long as your blow dryer has a nose on it, like this, all you do is you push it onto that and it should fit. If you have one of those short little blow dryers, this won't work for you. That blow dryer probably has its own personalized diffuser attachment, and you might have to search online a few 3 years away. But here's some of the things that you want to look for in a diffuser when you go to the store to get one. You want to make sure it has these fingers in there, and the importance of that is because those fingers are going to go through, and they're actually going to separate your curl pattern. Okay, so they're going to do the work for you. And then if you can find it, you want to make sure that it has a concave inside. That way that your curls will set in there and they'll form really pretty. Some diffusers out there are just flat surface. If that's all you can find, that's fine, but you're not going to get that really pretty open-ended curl. It's basically just going to set flat on your head, and you're just going to have a flat curl. It'll still be better than your blow dryer blowing your hair all over the place and having frizzy hair. And that leads me back to why a diffuser. All these little tiny holes actually diffuse the air. They make the air from your blow dryer go in different directions. So instead of blowing your hair really, all over the place, you put on the diffuser and then it doesn't blow it. See, there's no wind, it doesn't blow and cause frizz all over. So that's why you want a diffuser when you're wearing your hair curly. You can get these anywhere, you really can. And they're pretty affordable. You want to set your blow dryer on the hottest heat that it can go, but the lowest speed it can go. I say this make sure you have a quality blow dryer, because this does put a little bit of stress on the motor of your blow dryer. So just make sure that you're not using like a $20 blow dryer that you got from Walmart or something, because it might not withstand the power of the diffuser, unless it came with its own diffuser, and then that's a whole other game. But a lot of people ask me, you know, what temperature, the hottest that you can stand. You don't want to burn your scalp, and the lowest speed, so that way you can control the curl pattern. So if you're a stylist and you're styling someone's hair, a really good quick tip on this is when you're diffusing someone's hair, you're actually going to be using your hands to lift the hair up off the head. You want to keep your hand in between, at least a finger or two, so you can make sure that the temperature doesn't get too hot, because you don't want to burn them. Okay, that's just a quick tip for stylists. When you're at home doing your own hair, you don't have to worry about that, because first of all, you can feel it, and secondly, you're not going to be putting your hand in there. So here's what I do. Turn on my blow dryer, and then all you're going to do is you're going to set your curls in the diffuser. That's it. You're not going to squeeze it. You're not going to mess it up, because that gives you a different curl pattern. If you're squeezing your hair, you know, you've seen people do this, and they're squeezing. That, there's nothing wrong with that. It just gives you a messier look. And you'll see in just a second. Okay, so I'm using the fingers. If you feel like you need to flip this around, you just use and turn the fingers of your diffuser. The closer you hold it to your head, the curlier or tighter your curl pattern is going to be. I tend to bend over like this because I don't want my curls to just be flat to my head. See, if I just held it like this, it would just drive flat to my head. I want some volume in there, and the easiest way to blow dry your hair at home is to bend over and just let it fall into the diffuser. Now, to get the volume up on top, here's a quick trick that I do. Might look kind of weird on camera, is I just flip upside down, hold, especially right here. Like, how do you blow dry this to make it look good? What I do is I hold this part of my hair tight, so it kind of stretches that curl pattern out right there. And I flip upside down. I guess I'm gonna do it. And so that way my hair hangs from this, and I get some volume up on top. I guess I'll do it. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but you'll see what I mean in just a second. So I'm putting my hands in there, and I'm flipping over. I don't know if you see that or not. And then the other side, again, I'm just going to hold it in there. You really wanna make sure, a couple of things. You want to make sure you get your hair good and dry, 100% dry, because even like when you blow dry hair for volume, if there's any dampness in there, it'll just fall flat. Here's a couple of things that I see that stylists do. So even when people give perms, and have you ever seen a stylist let somebody that just got a perm leave wet? Drives me absolutely insane. First of all, no one should be leaving the salon with wet hair. I always say you need to look like you just stepped out of a salon when you step out of a salon, because it's that feeling of just, wow, empowering. But also, hello, other people are watching. If you step out of a salon looking like a drowned rat, they're not gonna wanna go there. It's just my opinion. But what I find is when people let, when stylists let people leave with wet hair and they have curls in their hair, it's usually because they don't know how to diffuse the hair. And so instead of trying to attempt to do so, they'll just let them leave wet. They'll scrunch some product in their hair and go, okay, you're done. And to me, that's just an incomplete service. I know that there's some clients that request leaving wet. You know, that's a case-by-case thing. I just 99% of the time, if you're sitting in my chair, you're gonna be styled when you're out. And if that includes being curly styled, then yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I love teaching people how to blow dry their hair curly, because it gives them another style that they have in their wardrobe. It gives them, if they don't feel like blowing out their hair with a round brush, it gives them another option, just like shoes, just like outfits, just, you know, you get bored. Handbags, you get bored of the same bag. Ask my husband. I get bored of the same bag. Just a tip for stylists, if you are unsure how to use a diffuser, practice. Practice on each other. Practice on your doll heads. Just practice. And I think just with some good tips of just how to hold the hair, things like that, I think you'll get it. And just use your fingers and you can feel if the hair is dry underneath. I tell you what, this is the hardest part. And if you have to cheat a little bit and split the hair before you start diffusing and blow dry just this area, just at the root area, then go ahead and do so, because nobody's going to see under there. And it'll save you a lot of time trying to, especially if they got long, beautiful hair, you just did a long perm. Another thing with perms, people say, yeah, but I don't blow dry because I don't want the perm to leave. Hello, you just chemically altered the hair. You can blow dry it. You put the neutralizer on there, it stopped the chemical action, you're good to go. Make them look beautiful leaving the salon. Don't cop out. So I'm going to go ahead and blow dry the rest of my hair. Then I'll come back and I'll show you the results, and I think you'll be surprised. And then we're going to compare the different sides to see if you see any difference, okay? All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got it blow dried. I know it looks a little bit of a mess right now, and a lot of you are like, okay, I can't let my person leave like that. It's not finished. So I brought a mirror to cheat so I could see. I don't know if you could tell a difference between the sides. Maybe not. This one's a little bit crunchier, which is fine. This one's a little bit softer. This one had the foam on it, and this one had the forming cream on it. So to finish this look out, see how flat it is on top? You don't want it flat. What I like to do is, first of all, go in with a little bit of hairspray underneath, inside the hair. Pick it up. And you could use whatever hairspray you like. Before, it has like 4 different kinds of hairsprays. This one's called Elevate. You can use Tame. You can use their non-aerosol one. That's a nice one too. But you can see I'm getting a little bit more fullness under there, and it's breaking up my curl pattern. Okay. Then I like to use a Vest finger comb. I don't have one in front of me because it's at the salon right now. But it looks like fingers. And you can take that and rake out the crunchiness if you don't like that defined look. Sometimes I just like it, and I just like what it looks like. But what I do, my secret, which is kind of old school, I just take like a little pick like this, and I build the volume underneath. And you can squeeze that volume wherever you want it. Don't run the curl pattern on the outside of the hair. You want to work internally with the hair. See how big that can get? Now you can form this however you want, especially up here. Now don't comb your curls. Don't comb this. I'm not combing it, I'm just kind of picking it up. If you combed this, if you brushed this, you would have, woo, big hair. I mean, just fuzzy hair. I think that's another concern that people do, is they don't know what to do with curly hair, so then they brush it. You definitely don't want to brush it. All I'm doing is I'm going to the roots and back combing just a little bit. What that does is it gives you a little bit of a foundation. If you're like me, I've got really, really thin hair. Kind of just gives me a little bit to hang on to. Then I shape it with my hairspray. Pick that hairspray. See how I'm just like holding it, letting it dry in position. Where do I want that? Typically, you will not see me with my hair down curly like this. Ask anybody who knows me. You probably will never see me like this. Not that there's anything wrong with this. I just don't feel comfortable that way. So typically when I do my hair curly, then I'll pull it back, stuff like that. And you can have a lot of fun, and you can get a lot of mileage out of curly hair. So like, since I did my hair curly, I probably won't have to shampoo it for like 3 or 4 days. All I have to do is in the morning when I wake up, I'll put my hair up in like a high ponytail, just with a scrunchie or something. But then when I wake up in the morning, I just use the curl activator, spritz it again, squeeze it. If it's a little bit damp, I would diffuse it just a little bit. But what that does is it reactivates the product you already have on there. Plus it takes the frizz out, and you can just get a lot more mileage out of it. I love that. It's just a great trick. Let me think if there's anything else that with curly, oh, a really, really like look at this little hair right here. I'm looking at myself in the mirror so I know it's there. Or like this one. It's just like a random hair that you're just like, what the heck do I do with that? With curly hair, it's so wonderful. You could take that one little piece of hair and hang on to it and use your other finger to back comb, and you can place it wherever you want. Sorry. And then you can control it. So you don't have to, the curls just kind of act on their own. And so you can place those wherever you want. Kind of weird. Curly hair. I love curly hair. I think it's wonderful. I'm so glad it's making a comeback. And I think it takes learning new things to learn a new look. And if you don't have, as a stylist, if you don't have curly hair yourself, it's really hard to know what to do with it. I mean, it's almost scary because it's like a different texture. That's okay. Don't be afraid of it. Find one of your curly haired friends and say, can I play? Can I learn how to diffuse your hair? Can I practice on you? Can I just figure out random things? Because the last thing you want to do, well, a couple of things. Don't let them leave wet just because you don't know how to do their hair. And also, when you do diffuse their hair, if it looks wonky, fix it. Make it look like it belongs on their hair, on their head. I mean, give them some volume, let them play, you know, and tell them too, if they diffuse their hair at home, see how I just did that? They probably don't want to do that. I'm doing that because it just feels good. Curly hair, you don't want to play with it. The more you mess with it, the more you play with it like this, the frizzier it gets. So if they need to fluff up, tell them to take their hands underneath and fluff it up underneath. Okay, fluff up underneath. Nobody sees under there, and it'll give them some fluffiness without taking their beautiful curl pattern away. I know curly hair is just like almost like a foreign language to some people, but I'm having a blast showing it to people behind the chair. I love it when people come in, when my clients come in, and you could tell they have some natural wave to their hair, especially now because it's so humid out. But you could tell they have natural wave to their hair, and they've never played around with it. They've never experienced it. And so I show them how to diffuse their hair. And I always tell them, hey, if you don't like it, all we have to do is wet it back down and round brush it out. I mean, it's just hair, and we could style it however we want. But if they didn't even know that they had that curl pattern to begin with, I mean, you just showed them something they never knew, and you might be able to sell them some other retail products that they don't have at home, or recommend some products, or just recommend even a diffuser. Maybe your salon carries diffusers, maybe they don't. Maybe they just use the link in this video, you know? I mean, there's diffusers everywhere. I just think it's a wonderful way to show clients how to do something different to their hair. Anyway, I hope it helped. I really appreciate the people who have reached out saying, hey, didn't know your hair was curly, how'd you do that? Yeah, it's a thing. It's a real thing. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching today. Remember, please, I love it. Please leave your comments. Remember to subscribe and like this video. I love seeing that everybody's getting a lot of knowledge out of these. So thank you. Thank you for being part of this community. And remember, it's not about the little things. It's all about the little things.